Hi, I'm Julie Caringi, and my lesson plan for today is chunking. So what comes to mind when you hear the word chunking?
Separate parts.
Separate parts?
Division.
Division?
Slicing.
Okay. Well, today you can use chunking in a couple different ways. One way that may be common to you that you may have used when you were younger was chunking words, to learn how to say the word and understand the word. But today we're going to chunk using sentences, okay? So chunking for today's lesson is a grouping of words in a sentence in short, meaningful phrases, usually 3 to 5 words. This process prevents word-by-word reading, which can cause lack of comprehension. Studies indicate the presentation of chunked material separated into meaningful related words improves the comprehension of some readers, most noticeably those readers who are classified as poor or low ability readers. Okay, so the objectives for our lesson today is we're going to learn to read a passage in meaningful phrases by echo reading the teacher who models chunking. We're going to become less reliant on having to think about every word, and we're also going to gain practice in reading phrases of text that represent thoughts to understand meaning. And finally, we'll become faster readers without sacrificing comprehension. Okay, so I have a passage up on the screen here, but you also have one in front of you saying the same thing. Before we read this, can anybody tell me what they think this passage is going to be about?
That guy, Louis Zamperini.
Zamperini, okay. So the first passage by that title, what do you think we're going to learn about him?
Like how he got to where he was. His life.
Okay, because what is the title of that first passage?
Early years.
His childhood.
Okay, so can somebody read this first passage, the first paragraph, and I want you to just read it how you would read it.
Louis Silvi Zamperini was born to an Italian immigrant on January 26, 1917. Growing up in California, Zamperini ran track at Torrance High School. He was very competitive when it came to long-distance running.
Okay, so where did Louis Zamperini grow up?
Italy.
Is that what the passage says?
California.
Okay. So now we're going to learn how to read slower by chunking the words to get a better understanding of what they mean. So in the first sentence, I'm going to model it for you, and then I want you to read it after me, okay? Louis Silvi Zamperini was born to Italian immigrants on January 26, 1917. Can somebody read the second sentence? Louise?
Growing up in California, Zamperini ran track at Torrance High School.
And how about the third sentence? Katie?
He was very competitive when it came to long-distance running.
Okay. So, that is chunking in 3 to 5 words to help understand what you are reading better. So, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and I want you to turn over your papers because I want to see if you remember what we read, okay? And I'm going to close this to see if you understand. So, who were Louis' parents? You can say...
Should we write it down?
No, you can just answer.
Italian immigrants.
Okay. And when was he born?
1917.
Okay. That was the year. Do you remember the date?
January 20th.
Okay, that was close. January 26th. Where did he grow up?
California.
Okay. And where did he go to school?
High school. Torrance. West Torrance.
Torrance High School. What was the sport he participated in?
Long
Long
distance.
distance
track.
running.
Okay. Very good. Okay, so this is chunking in 3 to 5 words. As you get older and as you get more comfortable with reading, you can extend the length of the words that you use in your chunking. So we're going to move on to the next one and we're going to practice that. Okay. So can somebody read this passage for me?
With chunking?
Or without chunking?
No, without.
Okay, go.
I'll read it.
Okay.
In 1934, Zamperini set the national high school mile record, and his time of 4 minutes and 21.2 seconds would stand for an incredible 20 years. His track skills caught the attention of the University of Southern California, and he earned a scholarship to attend.
Okay. So, as you can see, you just read through that. But now we're going to learn how to chunk longer statements, longer sentences with more words in your chunking. Okay, who wants to read number 1?
I will.
Okay.
In 1934, Zamperini set the national high school record, and his time of 4 minutes and 21.2 seconds would stand for an incredible 20 years. His track skills caught the attention of the University of Southern California, and he earned a scholarship to attend.
Okay. So, one question I'm going to ask you from this is, what record did Zamperini set in 1934?
The mile.
The mile record, right. And how long did that last? How long did that record last for?
20 years.
20 years. Okay. So if you turn your papers back over, okay. So what do you think the next passage is about?
Why he's...
His time in the
When he went
Olympics.
to the Olympics.
Okay. Well, that was the early years. But moving down to the next paragraph passage, what is that about?
1936 Olympics.
Okay, so what do you think happened? Do you think he went to the Olympics?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what I want you to do now. I want you as a group to read this passage of the 1936 Olympics, and then together I want you to come up with 3 questions to show me that you understand the passage that you read. And then we're going to come back together and discuss them as a class. Okay? So I want you to read the passage out loud, so you each take a sentence and read it using the strategy of chunking.
All right, let's just go down the line. With chunking?
Yes.
Okay. In 1936, he headed to New York City for the 5,000 meter Olympic trials.
The race pitted Zamperini against Don Lash, the world record holder in the event.
The race ended in a dead heat between the 2 runners, and the finish was enough to qualify Zamperini for the 1936 Olympics in Berlin while he was still a teenager.
Zamperini trained for only a few weeks in the 5,000 meters, and although he ran well, he didn't medal, coming in 8th.
During the Olympics, the 19-year-old stood near Adolf Hitler's box with his fellow athletes, seeking a photo of the Nazi leader.
Looking back on the event, Zamperini said, "I was pretty naive about world politics, and I thought he looked funny."
Okay, so now as a group, I want you to discuss this passage, and I want you to come up with 3 questions about this passage. So I'll give you a couple minutes.
Should we all just pick a question?
Do you guys think we asked about
We
like
can-
World War II?
We can ask.
Whose box
We
was
can
it?
ask what he was in the Olympics for.
What time did he
Where
run?
were the Olympics? Berlin.
Oh yeah, where were the Olympics? And then who did he see?
Did he medal?
Okay, so did he medal? Where were they? And who did he see?
Do you want to write them down?
I'll do it. Are we all gonna do it?
Oh, we're writing down the question?
Mm-hmm. Okay, do you have your questions ready? You want to come back to the class and discuss?
Yeah.
Where were they?
Where were what?
Where were the Olympics?
Okay. Do one of you want to answer?
Yeah. Berlin.
Okay, good.
Who did he see there?
Adolf Hitler.
Did he medal?
No. He got 8th.
Okay, good. So, did you find chunking to help you with your understanding
Yes.
of the
Yes.
passage?
Yes.
Reading slower? Okay. So, in conclusion, thank you, girls, for participating in my class
Thank you.
and
Thank
being
you.
part of my chunking lesson plan.